Hey, all you greedy bards and bardettes, welcome back to iCast Vicious Mockery.
A show about warlocks, warforged.
And Wario.
Not that. I'm Matt.
I'm Austin.
And welcome back, you smelly audience members.
I'm back, you're back, she's back. We've got a new sign.
Well, so much is new and different and exciting since the last time we were here.
It's been like a month since we've recorded, actually.
I know. How seamless was that? No interruption and upload. And yet it's been a month since we've recorded.
Yep.
We planned that.
We did a pretty good job of it. And in fact, there's something else that you don't even know about yet that I'm going to show you after this episode that we were recording right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I planned it out even more. We got it going. You guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. You guys use Notion, the database software sort of thing. Oh man, building out your custom content management systems and whatever.
Absolutely, you lost me on the content management system.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I don't want to just gloss over this glorious neon sign.
Yeah, it's from my wife. That's that we talked about it actually before a tiny bit.
Oh, that's right. Did we show it?
I don't think we did. No,
we didn't.
But it's up there now. And you can't even tell how super long the chain is.
Right, yeah.
It just goes for days.
It's a long chain. It is a very long chain.
Yeah. I could have removed links, I think, but...
You could have.
It looks good.
You could also connect links together. Well, maybe that wouldn't have made sense.
It is what it is. It looks great.
It does. It really ties everything together. It's looking more and more like a real show. If you're just listening, by the way, just like once, maybe sometime, check out the YouTube channel.
Yeah, youtube.com/ I don't know if our channel has a URL. And then find this video, episode 76. That's the one where we get the sign.
Yep, 76. That's the sign.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a fan of numerology,
right?
76.
Mm-hmm. 7 is for luck, and 6 is it's an upside down 9.
Mm-hmm.
And the sum of those is 13. But if you multiply them, you get 42. And so I think that has something to do with
how many beetles are left.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're off to a great start. Welcome back, us. And you got any homebrew?
Oh, is that what we're doing? Is that what this show is about? I didn't remember. I forgot. What we did. Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey, we've got user SonixVerseLabs. I'm pretty sure we've done SonixVerseLabs before.
SonixVerseLabs.
Yeah, Sonics with an X.
Okay.
Verse.
As
in like...
like a part of a song. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Well, yes. Anyway, labs, like Labrador retrievers.
Right.
So
okay.
I like it. This is just a bunch of prefabs. This is like this is an expanded list of, they call it an expanded warriors list, but like really what I think it's good for is like town guards.
Okay.
I don't know, if you wanted to like spice it up.
Right.
Rather than just using the straight guard stat that's already available in D&D in 5th edition. Basket wants to leave. I don't know. What are some like...
Yeah.
What are some things you can think of that would be like a way to spice up...
Spices.
A town guard. Like
to spice up a town guard.
Yeah, town guardsmen. Like what are some different kind of ideas that you might have?
Definitely make sure they say the same few lines every time you talk to them.
Uh-huh.
That's a good place to start, I would say.
Yep.
No, wait. So when you say spice up town, like what kind of interactions are we trying to have with them? Are you saying like so I can fight them more?
It's more combative. Yeah.
Okay.
They're all stat blocks. And it's just like a way to make them more unique. Like, hey, this is a guard, but he's one of the guys who's good at shooting arrows.
Yeah.
Rather
Okay.
than, yeah, it's really just that.
Well, all right. So if I'm trying to think of things myself,
Okay.
rather than going by this already made homebrew, one of the things that I had was a thing that I used in a session was there'd be guards paired up with a net launcher to try to entangle you. Right? Why?
She's back.
All right. And I think that was a pretty fun and interesting thing to have to deal with suddenly. Like you don't, you've got to like move either out of their range or, avoid with dexterity saving throws, avoid getting tangled up too much by the nets. That's fun. So I think, other things like that sort of can make you need to move a certain way, make you need to fight with certain techniques.
Right. And you need to react differently because it's not so straightforward as just fighting. Yeah.
Yeah. So what have they got for us here? Sonic's X verse X. Nope.
SonixVerseLabs.
Labs. Okay.
Yes. Okay, cool. Well, okay, first of all, here's one. Here's a cavalier.
Ah, okay.
Right? So basically a mounted guard, right? They the mount itself, based on the art that they use here, is not a horse. I'm not sure what it is. It almost looks like a panther or
is it a lemur?
Jaguar? It would be a strange looking lemur.
Lemur.
But it's not a lemur.
Who am I to say what is and is not a lemur?
That is true. It might be hard to tell what is and what is not.
I'm just going to assume that most animals are unusually shaped lemurs.
Lemurs. So like being mounted, like, you get like a bonus action dash. You get like, there are certain things about like, your mount can attack too. And, you have pack tactics because it's a pack animal that you're mounted on. But here are some interesting ones. So it's like considering them to be well trained with being mounted. So they actually get advantage on saving throws. Weirdly, it says all saving throws. I probably would make it just be dexterity. That makes the most sense. But regardless, or maybe dexterity and strength. That would make sense too.
Yep.
But things like that. But they'll have multi-attack, and their weapons are all going to be longer because they're mounted, right? So they're going to have long swords, a long bow. But they also get like he likes to. SonixVerseLabs has put like at least one thing in each stat block that does make combat a little bit more interesting, in that it adds something more variety to it than just the regular rules. So they have a reaction while you're mounted. If either the cavalier or their mount takes damage, the cavalier can use their reaction to split the damage between both of them instead.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if either of them take damage, you can use your reaction. It uses a reaction, so it's not just free to do. And it's a nice way, like if either the cavalier or the mounter are sort of on their last legs, so to speak, you can pull that out and give them one more round of combat.
Really good chance to characterize them as well.
Right.
Which is exactly what you want in the middle of combat against a generic NPC.
His mount jumps in front of your sword and takes half of the blow.
What?
The cavalier yells out, Stephen! He named his mount Stephen.
After his dead brother, Stephen.
After his dead brother, Carl, who liked to go by Stephen. Yeah. You're right, though. That is that. I mean, yeah, it does actually good for. Or,
what if that's when the mount then changes back from their polymorph and it is his dead brother Carl? What?
Stephen,
I thought you. No, call me Carl now. It's what mother and father would have named me.
It is what they named you, Carl. Oh, right. Feel free to use Carl, who goes by Stephen, in your campaign. Polymorphed into a mount that his brother rides. This is great, though. I like that.
Totally unbeknownst to him this entire time.
Yeah, he had no idea.
Yeah.
He thought he was just really good with animals. This is the only mount he's ever been able to, like, handle. He's actually terrible with animals. His animal handling is really low.
No wonder you disappear after an hour each day.
After an hour each day. Oh, you're implying. I was thinking like a true polymorph, like he was turned into this for but you're saying he polymorphs himself every day.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
I would just love it if you start to battle and he just like holds up some kind of like badge or something and he's like, Steven, I summoned you. And his brother, like hiding in the bushes, is like, polymorph.
Yeah, I'm gonna polymorph right now.
And he does like a little,
yeah,
and then
he does his his ninja hand signs.
And of course, when he polymorphs back, is he naked? Is he always naked? I feel like he would have to be.
I'm pretty sure in the description of polymorph,
it does something with your clothes. They like kind of blend into you, and then you get them back.
Yes, yeah.
But like, when's he doing his laundry? All he's doing is following around his younger brother.
So Stephen, the mount, just like runs away every once in a while.
After an hour,
about an hour
appearing,
or so.
Yeah, he then just goes, sorry, gotta go.
He just says it out loud. Oh, sorry, gotta go. Wow, Stephen, you really do sound a lot like my dead brother, Stephen, whose actual name is Carl.
Oh, yeah, no, that's definitely not me. Nay. Man, but he does sound super cool though. You should definitely like tell me more about him sometime, about how cool he is.
You should totally like think about him all the time, and
yeah,
he was awesome. It's a real down to earth, cool fellow that Stephen was.
And then Stephen joins your party. It was a player character the whole time. That's when your fifth friend walks out from the kitchen and is like, all right, let's do this.
All right, guys.
And everyone's like, what? What do you mean? And he's like,
I'm a 6th level fighter, and with a lot of negotiations with the DM, I know one spell, and that's polymorph. I'm a 6th level fighter who knows polymorph.
I don't have any ability with any martial weapons or anything like that. Instead, I get to be an anamorph.
An anamorph. Oh, man. Maybe he's a druid then. Nope. Take it back. Better if he just polymorphs every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I take it back. It's better that he polymorphs every day. There are variations here too. Like they have other mount. They have like, hey, what if you're the mount that you're riding is like a flying one that can fly. It's only slightly different, but still, there's enough of a difference that it includes all of those. But then it's like, okay, like what kind of guard are we talking about here? What if he's like a big, hefty guy, not quite barbarian, but like, you know, he can take a hit a little bit more than a regular guard can. He can hit harder than a regular guard can. Maybe he's not as fast or something like that. So they've got like a juggernaut variant here. The interesting, so like he's got heavy armor.
He wears clay armor, and he like he'll like it looks almost like normal armor, but there's something a little different about it. And then what happens is, you know, you walk into a room seemingly empty, like a storage room, and he just pops out at you, where you would have sworn there was a jug. Or not. That's right. He's like a very stealthy person who just disguises himself as a jug.
In such a way that, you know, at first you're like, that's a massive jug. Or, well, maybe not. Maybe it's a regular sized jug. It's a jug.
He's a very short person, but he couldn't cut it as a jockey.
Yeah, he was too heavy.
Yeah.
Even though he's short, he's really
short
heavy.
And heavy.
Dense.
I guess that would be like a dwarf.
Yeah, like
those exist in
like
yeah,
like a cannonball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small and really heavy.
Yeah.
So he couldn't cut it as a jockey.
No.
Too heavy.
No. Now I don't know what you do with a jug that large though.
Boy,
like
is he jug shaped.
He's just got this narrow little head.
But still, like, you do second guess it. You're like, oh, that's a jug or not.
And then when you go to try to like pick it up or something, he goes, "Ha, gotcha!
I wasn't a jug.
I wasn't a jug."
And then you roll initiative anyway, like normal. So I guess it didn't really matter.
All right, what's the juggernaut do?
He does siege damage, so double damage to structures.
Next episode, we'll talk about Pokemon, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
I am here for it.
As long as I remember. That's going to be a little while.
Oh, here's an interesting one. An extra 3d6 damage with melee weapon attacks against a creature who is prone or one size smaller.
Huh. So he stomps you.
Yeah. So he can really stomp you. That's a cool one. I've actually never seen that before. Maybe that exists in monster stat blocks already, but I really like that as a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense.
I think a like tackle and pound sort of enemy is a really good one to have to face sometimes. Like I don't know. I feel like that is really good with a certain pairing of other enemy types, just because like now you have to worry about where this person is all the time, right? Like you have to know like your distance from them and stuff, and so you're going to be maneuvering around other people to try to like, all right, am I just far enough away that he can't reach me? Because if he can, he's going to charge me, right, knock me over, and then the other person is going to hit me too. It's going to be a bad round, right? I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. He's like it's kind of like a monk, but the stun doesn't just work for that character, right?
Yeah.
Like stun is sort of like it helps everybody, but it's really for the monk, I guess, you know?
Yeah, because there's a saving throw involved, I guess it sort of implies it's good to use. Well, I don't know. You probably would use it on the bigger bad guy. I don't know. I guess it just depends. But so far, all of these that I've mentioned have pack tactics. So this guy has pack tactics too. which just means that they have advantage if one of their allies is within 5 feet of the creature they're attacking. Which I don't know, basically would just give all of them advantage all the time. Because the way the 5th edition combat works is, it makes it really not a good idea to try to move away from somebody.
Nope.
If you're hurt, especially. But even if you're not, it still usually isn't a good idea. Like if you're not hurt, you probably will just stay there because you want to hit them. And when you are hurt, you don't want to move away because they could hit you.
Right, yeah. Yeah, there's no benefit of moving away a lot of the time.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Since you're still taking the hit that you're trying to avoid. Unless you can get them to waste their reaction on something else.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, if there are 2 of you near somebody, your barbarian who is supposed to soak up the damage could be like, all right, I'm going to move away from them. And then you have to hope that they use their reaction to attack them.
Right. And yeah, a good strategic party who really understands the rules of D&D might do something like that to use up their reaction that round.
But then if you're against town guards, they might know that strategy, right? Like they might know what's going on and just stay stuck to this weaker, more fragile target.
Yeah.
And try to take them out.
Pick out the weakest. Yeah. Right now. Yeah. Because a lot of the time, the weaker characters in terms of hit points are the stronger characters in terms of damage output.
Right.
Glass cannons. There's usually a ratio there. So, right. So it's but see how we're thinking about this like strategery already. It just allows for more strategy on both ends, for the DM and for the players, to spice up these guards a little bit more.
Right.
So they've got other heavier guy, like they've got an even heavier guy, the Dreadnought. They've got an Arbalester.
Oh, pew pew.
Yeah, pew pew guy. Like a knight, basically just like you get up to mini bosses, like a warlord that has legendary actions, and things like that. The warlord actually is full of all kinds of cool things.
We'll talk about it because I like the idea of the town guards not being incompetent.
Yes.
I like the idea that you're not the only ones in this world who can do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
In certain settings, it's definitely better when the players are the only ones who like can even come close to saving the world or whatever. But I think that there are a lot of interesting settings where you're not that special. You might have like one cool thing you do or whatever, but like you're not first string or anything like that.
Which can sometimes make those stories more impactful, even because you're still telling like stories about regular people who aren't special are still interesting. People still watch those and enjoy those.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, the warlord is challenge rating 18, which is pretty high.
All right. What about a 5th edition slice of life setting? So like some extra rules for having a job or going to school or whatever. And you just
your characters are all in high school.
Either they're all in high school and you're just living out the school thing, or they all just have like normal jobs. Like one of them is just a farmer who just do the farming.
I wonder if
and you all get together,
yeah,
every week or whatever, and you talk about, tax forms, and you talk about like
harvest this year.
Yeah. And like suppliers, like supply chain management and stuff. And yeah, that sounds really fun. So I don't know who out there wants money. I don't know if anybody does. But if you do, then I got one word for you. Get on it.
Yeah, all three of those one words.
Yeah.
Get on it.
All right. So, sorry. More about the warlord, though.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I took that tangent down the wrong. I took the wrong fork at that.
You started going.
I was like,
wait, hold on. Let's double back here for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay. So the warlord has pack tactics, but it also has something called martial advantage. So once per turn, so it has to be on his turn. The warlord can deal an extra 6d6 damage to a creature with a weapon attack if that creature is within 5 feet of an ally of the warlord.
Whew.
Yeah. So, and if that creature is within 5 feet, he gets advantage. So, like, yeah,
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. The warlord is resolute, meaning he has advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and anytime, and if the warlord takes damage while charmed, they automatically end the charm effect. So it's not quite like there are certain creatures that can't be charmed. It's not quite like that, but still, it's pretty close. So here's a crazy good one. This one's called reactive. The warlord can take a reaction at the end of every creature's turn.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a big one. If you consider, because legendary actions are different and those also happen at the end of other creatures' turns, but if you consider, so when you consider that, there's so much potential for how many actions this creature can really take. Creature, I mean, I don't know. It could be a person. It's just a humanoid, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Imagine that. A reaction for every. So that means anytime anybody moves away from melee, he can take an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
Anytime. Yeah. So any reaction anytime. And I'm pretty sure he gets other reactions as well. No, that's not. Maybe not. That's not true. He has advantage on initiative. And if and when he takes the attack action against any creature that has not acted in combat yet, he can make an additional greatsword or crossbow attack on that turn. So he gets a lot of attacks basically.
Yeah.
And when the warlord starts his turn below half maximum hit points, it gains 30 temporary hit points at the start of each of its turns. While they're active, the warlord has resistance to all damage and is immune to all conditions.
That's really hard.
Yeah.
This thing is nuts.
So down to half hit points, which its hit point pool is crazy. It's like, where is it? 181.
I was going to say 160. Ooh.
Yeah. 18 armor class, by the way. Yeah, this guy's...
Yeah, and you can only hit it if you deal 60 damage each turn before it regenerates that.
Right.
Because I know it said 30, but it has resistance, so...
Right, exactly. Resistance
at
to
least 60,
all,
depending on how the rounding hits you.
Resistance to all damage. I think the biggest benefit here would be to have a large party. You know, The more character, well, actually, but that also hurts you because it gets a reaction at the end of every creature's turn.
Yep.
So that just gives him more stuff to do too.
So the real strategy is to go at him one-on-one and just be like level 30 or 40 or so.
Okay, so to add injury to injury, every time it deals damage using martial advantage, which is that thing where it does 66 damage.
Wait, please tell me it said that. In the homebrew, did it say to add injury to injury?
No, that was my addition. It's good though, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it should be included.
It should be included.
Okay, you could cleave, cripple, disorient, and trip. Or trip. Cleave is another additional attack. This is insane because martial advantage gives you extra damage, I guess. And then this just lets you do another attack. But by the way, they do this. The warlord does 4 attacks per round. Its multi-attack is 4 attacks. Jeez. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. It has to use something called rallying charge to make 4 attacks. It doesn't say otherwise, so I assume that otherwise he only takes 1 attack.
Yeah.
And it's like a breath weapon. It recharges after, but a 5 or 6. So 1 out of 3 chance, basically. Okay. So rallying charge, man, okay, this is all over the place. Rallying charge also means that at the end of its next turn, the warlord and any creature of its choice within 30 feet that can see or hear it gain 30 temporary hit points, which is different than the warrior spirit thing. So you could have 60 on any given turn, which means you'd have to do 120 points of damage to bring. Man.
Or no. I don't think that they would stack. I think that usually temporary hit points don't, and you just take the higher of the 2.
You're right.
So
you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it would just. But if you didn't do more than 60 points of damage before this happens, then he just goes right back up to 30 again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Geez. Well, he would anyway, because the 30 temporary hit points start at the beginning of each of its turns once it's under half anyway. Man, this thing is crazy. But also, once the 30 temporary hit points are gone, he doesn't have resistance to all damage anymore.
Right.
This is a lot to keep track of. But
it is.
But
this guy's work.
I still like it.
Yeah.
So far, I still like it. Okay, doubling back. He can cleave, cripple, disorient, trip. Okay, cleave, additional attack. Cripple, DC 19 Constitution save, or the creature's movement speed is halved until the end of their next turn. Disorient, DC 19 Constitution save, or they have disadvantage on all attack rolls until the end of their next turn. And then trip, DC 19 strength save, or they're pushed back 10 feet and knocked prone.
Okay. Yeah.
So these are all, these are all things that he can do when he makes his martial advantage strike, which he does once per turn. Cool. All right. Hopefully you pulled up the character sheet. It's a lot easier. Honestly, it sounds super confusing when I describe it, but it's all just laid out there. It actually makes sense when you just read it. But he does have legendary actions as well. Battle command means that if you can see or hear the warlord, You can use your reaction to move half of your movement speed and make a weapon attack against a creature. This is allies of him, I assume. Make a weapon attack against a creature it can see. If it hits, they get martial advantage, which means they get an extra 66 damage. Jeez.
Wow. You're in a lot of trouble if you fight these guys, man.
Especially if he has a bunch of followers around him. I mean, yeah, this is crazy. Fortification command.
This would be not the town guard that, like, you know, our tiny little village is, you know, at least protected a little bit from bandits and outlaws. No, this is like I don't even know, like totalitarian government super police who like crack down on everything.
Right.
And you don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance.
Yeah, there's no way to beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because the fortification does the same thing. Your creature within 30 feet, 30 temporary hit points until the end of its next turn. So he's got, like, he boosts their damage, he boosts their defense. He can do resilience, which he can end one status condition or spell effect on himself. Just boom. Legendary action.
Yep.
Boom. And that's after he burns through his legendary resistances, which he has 3 of. So he can just automatically save on saves 3 times, and then after that he can just do this.
Wow. I want to play as this guy.
Yeah. This isn't even the last of it. Stalwart command. Any creature within 30 feet that can see or hear the warlord can end a condition on themselves. Jeez.
Wow.
So he gets 3 of these legendary actions per turn. Usually legendary actions happen at the end of another creature's turn.
All right. So all right, you can end a condition on yourself. So let's say that your character, or that the one of the guards is being restrained. The commander can just say, "Hey, stop being restrained." And he'll be like, "Sir, yes, sir," and bust out. I like flavor wise, I love the idea that, like, this dude is so scary that, like, that you'll just be like, all right, well, he's told me not to be held on to anymore. Just gonna pop my shoulders out real quick here. I'm just gonna
pain is temporary. Yeah.
Pain is temporary, but he can give me a lot of it.
He can give me a lot of it.
So let's not do his pain.
Oh, you know what? I was wrong before. He does have a special reaction. And remember, he can do it anytime.
Yeah.
It's he has a parry, which grants him an extra +2 bonus to his AC until the start of his next turn. And if somebody misses with a melee attack against him and they're within 5 feet, he can make a greatsword attack. Guess what? If he hits them with that greatsword attack, he gets martial advantage, which is an extra 66.
Oh my god.
And then after that, he can just do it again. Because he gets unlimited reactions. He can do it after every creature's turn.
Yeah. What's the content rating? That's not what CR stands for, but you know what I mean.
The challenge rating?
Yeah.
18. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man. This guy seems a little higher than that to me.
Yeah.
I guess, you know.
But I mean, once you start getting up to that point, it's kind of more down to, like, all right, are we going to try to handle this? You know, is there some chance? Like, let's just do it then.
I guess
we'll pull something out from somewhere.
I don't really know, but I think probably the difference in ability between a level 18 character and a level 20 character isn't probably too much.
No, not really.
Like, a level 18 character can handle most.
I mean, there are some classes where the capstone is like, whoa.
Yeah, that's true.
But most of them, not really.
I mean, there are a lot of classes actually where the last thing you get, like the level 20 abilities, are actually kind of lame.
Yeah.
Like not super great at all.
I'm talking about you monks.
Yeah, it depends on the sub. Well, I think that is it monk that the last thing is a subclass trait? I think it might be.
I think so. But they're usually not very
They're
good.
usually not great. Yeah, no, that's true. I would agree with that. I wish that wasn't the case.
Mhm.
I wish they could all be super cool. Level 20 should be like, whoa, for everything, for every character.
Yeah, but
I think so.
Then that incentivizes people not to do the best part of the game and multi-class.
Okay, that's fair.
That's the best part of the whole thing.
You said that before.
Yeah. And you should be doing it right now. Get your character sheet out, cross it off. You're 2 classes now.
We have quite a few multi-classing going on now. We just did a level up, and 2 people multi-classed this time.
Yeah, and I made a character who it just wouldn't make sense for him to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not how he is.
Right. I have never played a game where I've multi-classed before.
Mm-hmm.
I think that before I really understood how D&D worked, it seemed like way too, that would be way too hard to figure out. I thought spells would be way too hard to deal with.
And they are, and I'll complain about them another time.
Yeah, they're not without their flaws, that's for sure. But
yeah. It's a certain play style though, I guess,
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how much work you want to do. kind of. It really. For some people, it doesn't feel like work at all. For some people, it does probably. Whoa! Basket came out of nowhere. Oh, man. She's so excited to be here. Whoa, Basket, what is going on? Why are you... Did you just come in from outside? She just came in from outside, yeah, I think. Okay.
Hey, Basket.
She's okay.
Basket, what's wrong?
What's wrong, Basket?
Oh, Basket, tell us a story.
Your collar's kind of cold. I can see that. Yeah. You poor girl. Come up here. Come up. Don't step on my headphones. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay. There we go. See? It's warm up here. See? Don't whine into the microphone, though. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear you whining into them. Come on.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do.
Post a comment.
Yeah. Do you guys
want to hear Basket whine?
Basket whine in the microphone? Yeah. She won't stop because I physically can't pet her enough.
Yeah. She's like, hey,
to be
she's like stretching across the table between us right now. Like, I know you got some fingers. What you gonna do with those?
She's like a drug addict. She's been pet by 2 hands before, and it's not enough.
Yeah,
she needs more. She needs a bigger fix than that.
Yeah, yesterday she had 5 people petting her at once.
Oh no.
Yeah, that now nothing counts.
Could. It's basically like I'm not even doing anything right now.
Yeah, this isn't even getting her up to baseline.
Yeah, exactly.
Like right now she's got a headache. She's like shivering. I don't know about the headache part, but she's definitely shivering.
She is. Your nose is wet. And cold. That's a sign of a healthy dog. Cold, wet nose.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Her nose is only cold and wet when she's unhappy. Right? Like the way that she'd prefer to be is to be just roasted alive. That's her preferred sort of environment. Like she'll go on a heated blanket underneath other blankets, and she'll just be like, hey, she'll pop her head out and be like, hey, you got my sweater? I could use this sweater right now. And then she like her nose is just dry. Like most of the time. That's how she wants it, I guess.
She just, I mean, well, yeah, if that's what because when her nose is wet, it's colder.
Yeah.
Probably.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's exactly that. She just wants to be, she wishes she lived in Arizona.
Yeah, I was just going to say, maybe this is an incentive for, for you guys to move
Yeah.
somewhere
But
where it's super hot.
I have a feeling that Anna doesn't want to live in Arizona.
No?
And I don't think that Basket would love Hawaii.
No?
No.
She doesn't like the water that much?
She hates water.
Hates
water is the worst thing in the world.
There's a lot of it in Hawaii.
Yeah. When it falls from the sky, have you ever seen that happen?
No.
Listen, water can like come down straight from nowhere at you. Oh, that's awful.
That's the worst.
If you see that happening, you better start screaming about it.
Oh no. Oh no. Screaming about it. Okay, but I will say I just visited Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's the place that I was at, they only get 5 days of rain a year.
Wow, okay.
So it just depends where you are, I think. This is something I learned from the locals. Depending on the island, because there are a bunch of islands in the chain of Hawaii, they have somewhere between like 6 to 18 microclimates on each island.
Yeah.
So like literally you drive 20 minutes to a different area of the island and the climate is completely different.
Oh.
So some places, like some places on some islands, it rains every day for 20 minutes, like downpour, like big honking droplets.
Oh yeah.
Like a random time of the day, just once, and then that's it.
Yep.
And it doesn't rain anymore. Other places are very dry. Other places rains constantly. Some places are cold, actually. But most places aren't. Yeah, it's interesting. But the place, I was on Maui, and
right,
the particular area in Maui I was in is very, very dry.
Well, now I got to go check this out.
Yeah, I was there in the rainy season and it didn't rain once while I was there.
I mean, I guess 5 days of rain a year. It's not likely you're going to hit them.
Right, exactly. I was only there for 5 days.
I guess it's not that unlikely. Anyway, that's good. That's great. That's fun. Move to Hawaii, play D&D. That's basically the plan.
That's the plan. That's the plan right now. Yeah. Okay, SonixVerseLabs. I will say this. There is one more thing about this included in it. This is actually a very large supplement. There's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk about half of it, but you can read it yourself if you want. Audience, mostly I'm talking about. But just as a general thing, the last thing they have here is they actually have stat blocks for entire mobs and armies.
There we go.
Like angry mobs, armies, stuff like that.
And so that's going to be for the type of campaign which is opposite of what I was talking about before, where you know the player characters are so strong that they just wade through people, right? Like you send an entire military force against them and they're like, all right, yeah, let's split up and you take that 1,000 and I'll take this 1,000. And yeah.
right, exactly. Like we're talking an angry mob is challenge rating 5. The peacekeeper force is challenge rating 11, like not super high. Like a rebellion force is challenge rating 10. Here we go. Battalion, challenge rating 17, less than the single warlord that we just talked about. Yeah. They have a battle mage contingent, a crusader contingent, like, hey, what if there's magic people involved? What if there's holy people involved? Like, what if they can fly? What if they have guns? What if they have horses? And there's a lot of them, all that stuff. Yeah. So overall, I honestly think that a lot of these, I really like the little extra details and touches that they involve. They seem pretty strong, but at the same time, I know that the challenge rating system is really flawed, and like most of the official
That's
D&D
weird. My name also flawed.
It is crazy that we meet here like this.
Challenge rating system and me, we're both flawed.
We're both flawed.
Flawed.
It is me, it is challenge rating system. I want my bird.
All right, yeah, that's
right.
Sorry.
Iron Man 2, anybody? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these seem really strong comparatively, but actually most of the challenge ratings in official D&D content are pretty weak. I was talking about this.
Do you mean, so what you're saying is you get a level, like a challenge rating 20 creature in an official supplement, and that creature actually can be handled by a level 15 party. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, like pretty reasonably, it would seem. So I think that this is more true to the challenge rating system, is what I would guess. Obviously, I haven't play tested any of these.
Right.
So I don't really know. But if they seem too strong, they might actually be like a pretty good challenge.
Yeah.
You know? But it's hard to balance it. I think that just for the sake of keeping things fair, I guess. I
mean, there's always a strategy that you can use that will work. Like I'm thinking for this warlord, so far, you try to get them to burn through their legendary resistances, and then you blind them, because that nullifies most of their
advantage.
Yeah. And completely nullifies any of their abilities regarding other characters on their side.
Yeah, contrary to what you might think, I think it would actually be better if you had like a barbarian to try for them to actually stay back for a lot of the beginning of the fight and let him burn through a lot of his stronger abilities, though most of them don't really go away. He can just kind of do them. But still,
the resistances in particular, that makes it a lot harder to reliably keep him blinded in any way.
Right.
And I'm talking, the spell blind is one way, but also like putting him in complete darkness and then restraining him or things like that. Those would be good ways to try to keep him from doing too much to control the battlefield.
Right. And honestly, it's one of those things.
Or just teleporting him out of there temporarily with some. But and I guess if you're high enough level, that's a definite possibility.
Yeah, if you're at least level 18, it might even, the best thing to do might literally be burn through his legendary resistances and then banish him. Just cast banishment on him, get him the heck out of there. Deal with all of his little cronies, and then if he pops back, I don't remember how banishment works. I probably won't look it up right now. But if it works how I remember, they come back when the spell ends.
Yeah.
But I think you have a minute.
Yep. So, a minute is enough time in combat.
Yeah, 10
to
rounds.
Do a lot of stuff.
10 rounds is enough to take care of his cronies by the time he gets back.
By the way, they don't prefer the term little cronies. They do prefer dwarf cronies, so you like to specify.
Oh, okay, dwarf cronies.
Yeah. So that that they're not the human cronies or the little human cronies who also could exist. Maybe.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Whatever cronies they may be.
Yeah. I do like that guy though, who was, he was a jug. Or not.
Or not. You liked him, huh? Basket?
That is the jacket. That is not a blanket.
Oh, basket.
Oh,
basket.
silly dog.
That's a jacket.
That's a jacket.
Not a blanket. Yeah, you can't jacket.
Jacket is a basket.
You can't blanket the jacket.
You can't blanket the jacket.
Dova's been doing that too. Dova will find a jacket and just bury himself in it.
Yeah.
And then he'll just sit there like a doofus inside the jacket with his head sticking out.
People wear them for a reason, I guess.
They are warm.
I'll wear it on the next episode.
But he's got his own igloo that he can sleep in. And
so does she.
It's got to be warm in there.
She got a new crate, too. That seems pretty nice. I don't know if it doesn't actually seem all that warm. It's kind of big for her. No.
Not in the...
Listen to that.
Listen to that. That's some great audio. We're getting some great audio here. That's kind of what she wanted.
It is. She ended up getting what she wanted. I think the stuff in my pockets hit her in the face. She might be out.
I think she is okay with that. She's totally... See, look, she's totally okay with it. She's fine.
Basket's okay, everybody.
Basket survived this episode.